news that today it's the International Cocktails Day. So could you imagine this?
Nice.
It's really, we could not find better to start. Really, like, I think that's a sign. Maybe I
So we do all in time.
Yeah. So how was your day?
It was pretty busy, very active.
Very
I have
active.
to be a little bit more concentrated, and I have to relax and be with you, listen you, talk, drink. So let's change the mood of the day for a more relaxing one.
But I think this activity, it's a nice way also to relax, just to have a glass of wine, to enjoy this Thursday evening, and just to make life going easier.
Okay, I'm ready. So do you like my hats?
Yes, it looks very pretty.
Do I leave it or better to not?
I think it's okay. It's changed a little bit of so many videos that you can find in Instagram or in YouTube when people are very serious and talk about wine if it was like, I don't know, mathematics or physics.
I don't know.
But in fact, wine, it's for making life more joyful and to relax and to enjoy the life and to enjoy good food as well. So in my opinion, you can put hearts, some kitten nose.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
I'll put the heart for now. Okay.
So, guys, just let us know if you can hear us well and understand as well. So, sorry for our English. We are not native speakers, so
yes, we will practice.
Be a little bit tolerant. Tanya, you know, I know you very well, but not all my guests knows you. Just tell us a little bit what you're doing, where are you exactly, and how it's going on in Tuscany.
Okay, so we are in the central Tuscany, in between Florence and Rome, doing wine, small artisanal company working in an organic way. It's a wonderful place. Close to us is Valdorce area, which is famous for its sightseeing, agricultural sightseeing. It's under UNESCO protection. And in front of us is a very famous spot for wine production in Tuscany, Montepulciano. So we are close to Montepulciano area, but exactly we are in Chinciano Terme. It's famous also for thermal spots. We have a volcano here under the name Monte Aniate. And it's still working vulcan, and that's why we have a lot of thermal spots around. It influences a lot on our minerality of the soil and makes also the environment pretty interesting. So you can go on to see the snow, yes, and then the next time down the vulcan you can go and use a bath with the hot thermal water. So once we did it, if you remember.
So you don't need to go far away just to have a spa procedure.
Yes, we are in a very beautiful paradise environment doing wine in a small project of 14 hectares with a lot of hills with different conditions of the climate in terms of east-west, sun, wind, rose of wind, and so on. So in between these hills, we planted about 5 main red grapes and about 4 types of white grapes. So in between red, we produce Sangiovese, Merlot, Cabernet, Syrah, and Pinot Nero. In between white,
Tuscany.
Huh?
You are super Tuscany.
Yes, trying to do from Merlot, Cabernet, super Tuscan wine. From Sangiovese, something more classical, yes, according to the appellation. Actually, we are in appellation of Chianti. In our case, it's Chianti Polisinesi. And in terms of white grapes, so we produce Trebbiano, Grechetto, Malvasia, and a little bit of Riesling. So Trebbiano is a traditional type of grape in between white type of grapes, and Sangiovese is traditional type of grape in between red grapes.
But you know, when we talk about
no Sauvignon Blanc, we don't have Sauvignon Blanc.
When we talk about Italian wine, when I say, for example, Chianti, first of all, people imagine like red one and especially Sangiovese. And about your choice of the grapes, because normally, like, best white wines from Italy, it's Alta Adige and Trentino. So when you started, wasn't you afraid to be like not on the best level, to be like the pioneer of this?
You are talking about appellation, so why you are not in the most expensive appellation, for example?
I'm talking about like you come to Chianti area and you start to make white. For me, it's a little bit atypical.
Yes, but in Tuscany, in general, there are not so many famous white wines, yes, and it's considered that it's not the area for white wine production, but it's not true. In our case, so Trebbiano is typical for Vinsanto production. Vinsanto is a sweet wine. This one, which we started to do here, actually is a summer, wonderful, fresh wine
So
under the name
for
of
those
Ivoli.
ones who want to see the bottle,
I'll show you here.
Yeah,
I can.
We got the same.
A few words. I can say what we are doing. So we have like Flower Power line, which is done from Trebbiano white wine under the name of Ivoli. Then Rosé under the name of Gallo, it's Sangiovese. And then Chianti basic one, easy to drink, new, done from Sangiovese as well. So this is our Flower Power line. Then we have a little bit more like easy approach, village champagne, or we call it in Italy Metodo Ancestrale, or in France they call it Petnat. So we do as well from Trebbiano, nice Petnat. And then this is white one, and this is done from Sangiovese, which is Rosé Petnat. So at the end, in terms of using white type of grapes, we succeed to enlarge our line of the products, and we succeed to achieve a wonderful quality according to our point of view. So do you want to taste it now? Yeah.
Yes, I'm started to open.
Yeah, you have to be strong. Now I will show.
Yeah, it was a long time. I haven't opened bottles myself.
So this year,
but actually, it was very easy. I started to. Yeah.
Yeah, I will explain what's going on in Italy. It's not typical. It's more typical for New World, like New Zealand, Australia, or Northern Europe, but not in Italy. So we started to use this year screw cap in terms of eco-friendly approach, sustainability, yes.
Yeah, you pronounce
in terms
very
of
well.
the packaging, we reduced the weight of the bottles. For example, Ivoli from the beginning was about 500 grams, the bottle itself. Now it's about 400. Within some other wines, more like classic line, like we have Rosé or Chianti Reserva, the bottle was 600 grams, and then now it's 450. The same with the fresh line. Easy drinking wines, summer wines, I can say like this, spring summer wines, we stopped to use the cork and we stopped to use a plastic cap. So we just changed for this type of packaging. In this case, in total, within the glass and this solution, maybe we have about 30% of CO2 emission. Yes, we reduced it. And it's also our eco-friendly approach towards the nature. And we try to use local producers. For example, as for the glass, we have the local production here nearby. We don't need to bring cork from, I don't know, Portuguese. Yes, Portugal.
Alentejo. I know the region now.
Yes, you've been there just some week ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one point. The second point, that within this type of tap, there is no oxidation, and we reduce the use of sulfites. So at the beginning, this line was low sulfites, and we made a little bit risky solutions, but it was okay. So the microflora of the wine was pretty healthy, and we had no any problems. But within this solution, there is no oxidation, and we don't need to use too much sulfites. So it's a very low point. This is another.
Our heads are very lucky, because the problem with wine, because sometimes when you consume a little bit, a lot during the evening, the next day your head could be like a bad conditions.
Yeah, but not only because of the sulfites, there are a lot of other components, and it's pretty deep, serious discussion. Maybe further on through our Instagram, we will go deep into this topic. I'm sure I will do it for sure. I will write something about. But in this case, what I want to say for the final consumers, customers, that you don't need to be afraid this solution. It doesn't mean that it's like a cheap, stabilized, controlled wine from some big production. No, it could be also from a small producer, and it starts to be also popular here as well, and I hope the final customer will accept it. We have just to communicate, you know. One of the main important part of this sustainability is that we have to be very strong in marketing. And if we succeed in communication, then the people will follow the ideas because you are able to explain why. So let's open it and try it. Yeah.
I'm already done. I prepared my glass.
Then for the ladies, it's faster, easier. If you don't need to drink the whole bottle tonight, you just close it, put into your fridge, and you can forget it for 1 week. So I made a tasting just now. I opened on Monday, and then on Sunday it was the same. The wine was perfect.
So what do you think about my wine glass? Because it's also a big topic, like we can't appreciate wine depending on the type of wine glasses. So I found like the
Which one do you have?
I got the classical one for white wines. So, you know, it's like classical tulip form. Hope it will be nice.
Is it manual production? I mean, it's done by your mouse?
Actually, I found out it's in Galerie Lafayette during the winter sales. So it was like sommelier kit. I take it and now I'm enjoying. So, but for me, the aromas of your wine is very, very sublime, like very delicate. So I think the tulip like this it's a nice device to appreciate wines more.
Okay, so for me, the main point is the weight of the glass, and usually it should be done by a manual way. Yes, I can say like this. And it helps a lot to understand the wine. It helps a lot to open it. It helps a lot to enjoy. So for me, the glass, one of the most key points which changed everything. Without good glass, you can't get the same pleasure as with the good glass. In my case, I have local production. It's a crystal from Tuscany, nearby. Again, local production and real crystal. But okay, we use it because it's more strong and more secure for public degustation. In my personal part, so of course I prefer to use different type of glass. Yes, not even crystal. But in like mass degustation, I think it's a good solution.
Okay.
So I don't want to tell you the brands, you know them. Producers.
Yes,
Austria.
I got some guess.
Yes, like Sefenwald Glass, Zalt, and so on. All this production, it's pretty nice.
Listen, we got a comment that manually made is very expensive.
Yes, it's very expensive.
Okay.
In France, for example, in Burgundy, they use it even for mass testing. In our case, we are not so rich to use them for normal tourists because they are also delicate and you can destroy them very quick. But for personal use, why not? So if you are a wine lover, I think you should have some of them in your collection.
So now I know what to ask for Santa for next Christmas.
Yes. Yes.
I already got my list.
Actually, Reading has a different line. Riddle lines, they are so rich and you can find everything, but I don't really like them. There is another one which they do not manually. And now the name of this is something from S, starting from S, it goes out from my...
Zalto?
Which one?
Zalto?
No, it's a Riddle production. They do as well another brand. It's very cheap in Europe. but also wonderful, and it's industrial. So it's not like Safenwald or Alp, it's totally different story, but also very elegant and nice. And
so guys, like this, you know, if you want to have a nice wine glass, but for little money, don't be lazy and search on internet what is the low cost of Riedel and make your pleasure.
Yeah, I can write down later on. So let's try. I would like to know your opinion because I'm presenting now.
Another comment, it will be very interesting to compare with your wine glass because the mine is not is different. So like this, maybe we will get some difference in our olfaction analysis.
Okay. Someone asked which brand is yours now. Mine is RCR. It's a local crystal production in Tuscany. So it's pretty famous in Italy. I don't know whether they are famous all over the world, but in Tuscany, here around, they are.
So you're really patriot now, Italian patriot. You use even the Tuscan glasses. Great.
Yes. They can make logo.
So that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, I see Poggio. Very nice.
So describe me this. It's 2020 last vintage. It's bottled at the end of February. It's absolutely like, how do you call it? Like Grand Cru presentation.
Okay. But for me, first of all, it's very stone fruit nose, you know, or like a very ripe peach. Really, when I did not swing a wine glass, and a lot of flowers, especially when I just poured the wine glass. It was really like spring flowers for me.
Yeah, white flowers mostly. Looks yummy. Yeah, looks yummy like this. It's actually Trebbiano, 70%, 20% of Grechetto, and for this fruitness, not fruitness, flowerness. Yes, I can say like this. We have a little bit of Malvasia, 10%.
Malvasia, that's maybe this brings its very pronounced notes of peach.
Yeah, so, you see nice. Here it's wild plant which is growing without limits. The name is Ivoli. Ivoli is just the play of the letters I love. So it's a date wine. You can easily bring it to someone you love and want to share this message. Actually, I have hearts now all around. But what I want to say, when I went to talk with you, I went to the office to talk with you, and I found on my way in the vineyards this flower. It's exactly what I put on the label. So in English, I found the name. It's like blind weed. I don't know. In
Tanya, we will become botanist with you. I saw these flowers every time, like in the countryside in France and even in Russia, but I never knew what is the real name of this.
So, yes, in English it's blind weed. In Italian, it's convolvolo. So it's also volo. It's nice.
So little class of Italian, guys. Just enjoy.
But for me, it's a freedom and the sense of wildlife. Because it's everywhere, it doesn't need to be curated. Yes, it's very aggressive, and it was the spirit of the vineyard, of white vineyard. It's a very particular vineyard. It's done like a wave, not in parallel according to dependence, but perpendicular. And it's done to consider rose of wind, because the wind which goes out from this volcan, Montamiata, pass through the vineyard, which is close also to the forest, in a very fresh area. And within the wind, we keep out normal condition in terms of humidity, because we are organic, and you know that in organic, the worst thing is to consider the influence of the humidity. So if you are in a pretty ventilated site, yes, you have enough of the sun, then you are protected with the forest from one part, because for white grapes, you have to make a particular fresh microclimate, yes. If you consider all these points and then you have this help of the wind, it's a really great story. And in our case, the most important thing is to be able to produce and to harvest healthy grape, which is not easy, yes, in organic way. 2020 was successful. It's very bad in terms of what was happened in the world, but in terms of harvest in Tuscany, especially in our place, it was absolutely fantastic. And we had no actually any problems within the disease, within the frost, and so on. So it was much more better than what we have now, because 2021, especially the spring, April, it was a disaster.
So did you get the same awful frost like what it was in Burgundy?
Yes, it was a disaster.
Really?
Now we are working for green pruning. We are selecting, I don't know how to say in English, this, we select the...
Clones?
No, like when we believe in each plant,
épambrage in French, I mean.
2 branches. Okay, so I forgot, Misha, you have to write us. What do we select
Yeah,
now?
we need to call a friend.
Yes, but what I want to say that we lost maybe around 50% of Sangiovese. It was the first one.
You mean about bats? Like when
yes,
it's
bats,
really...
something like this.
yeah, okay.
So it was a great damage in terms of Sangiovese. Merlot, Cabernet, Syrah, it's okay. Sangiovese, in our case, no. How
so
much
there is a question, how
so
much
actually,
have you been...
in our place, one night is -6, and it was enough.
-6? Oh my
-6,
God.
yes. And then in few days, we had like -4. It was not so dramatic as the first night, but I can say within just one night, we lost a lot. So 2021 is also difficult in terms of nature being very severe.
Oh, and have you battled to save your crop? For example, we have seen in Burgundy there was a big pictures of a lot of
they have a big
heaters,
culture of keeping the vineyards, yes, because the wine is very expensive, and they treat like, and then they have totally different climate conditions and more convenient, yes, to this story. In our case, no. So it's really in my experience the first time. So I'm doing
And how long have you been in Tuscany already?
For now, it's like 14 years.
14
years, yes. And it's my first time when we have such huge damage from the frost.
And what do your neighbors talk about this? If it's really because
you know, something in Tuscany, everyone is saying, "Oh, it's first time in my life. It's first time in 40 years. It's first time in 20 years." So all the time it's like a first time. But this year it's also visible because of the fruits. We lost all like ciliegie production. Ciliegie means
it's like wild pigs.
Cherry, like cherry production.
Cherry. Okay, like sweet cherry. Okay, I see.
And then some other fruits. Now it's hard for me also to translate, like kaki, the orange one, kurma.
Okay, I don't know the name in English, but in French it's kaki, the same.
As well. So cherry, yes, kiwi, all these type of fruits we lost this year. So it's not.
We got a tip from Misha. It's cherry. Okay. But listen, for me, I really like this wine, and I will explain why do I like it. Because maybe among you guys as well, you got some problems with acidity. Because sometimes wines could really harsh you with a very strong acidity. It's, you know, it's really like crispy. And sometimes in wine, you don't feel acidity at all. It's really like heavy wine. And what is important is to have a nice balance in this component. So in this wine, I will show you again, Ivali. What do I like? It's really this very balanced acidity, I would say, of a ripe green apple. Because there is a lot of varieties of apples. For me, it's exactly this one. In France, if you go to the market, you will find this granny. So this is really acidity of this granny and a little bit of peach acidity, you know. It's acid, but with a nice fruitiness, sweetness. And I really like minerality here. Thanks to WCT 3 education, I managed to understand why do we have so much minerality, because there is like winds from the seas coming to Tuscan fields, and it brings these characteristics, and also maybe about the soils. I don't know what do you have like soils, but in wine we feel it's really like very pronounced notes of this something really mineral, we would say. And about the wine food pairing, because I have heard so many questions about how to find the right wine, but right for what? For this wine, I must say that even like appetizer, it's passed very well because you don't need right now to pair it with something else. But also if you think to make some seafood presentation, I mean oysters or another little fish starters, I think it will work out very well. But I don't know about in Italy, but in France, it's really like fashionable now to mix something that you don't need to mix. I mean, now, before the COVID time, I assisted on some cuisine atelier, like telling how to mix red wine, for example, with some kind of fish. Or, for example, white wine with duck. Traditionally, you drink, you eat it with red wine, for example. So, what like unusual food pairing would you suggest for this wine? How do you consume it like a winemaker?
You know, when we started to present here for the tourists in a particular way, but within the local products, we start to present it with the ricotta. Ricotta is like in English, I can say cottage cheese, but it's different because it depends from the country. You have totally different approach, even in terms of acidity of ricotta. But ricotta without honey. So we have in the vineyards also houses with the bees, and we produce our honey, and we presented it with the honey. So cottage cheese with the honey and our Ivoli white wine.
Well, very interesting because for me, okay, it's easy to mix like red wine with the cheese. It's like very traditional, you know, that most of time you will get like a nice pairing. But for a white, to find a nice cheese, sometimes it's not very easy. And recently I discovered that even Sauterne you can mix with, like Sauterne sweet French wine, you can mix with some cheese. So later I will tell you with which one exactly, but it exists, and I really wondered how you find this nice pairing with ricotta and Trebbiano.
Yeah, the other typical dish coming from here, because we are close to Trasimeno Lake, we have actually 3 lakes. One is Montepulciano Lake, the other Chiusi Lake, and the Trasimeno Lake. And they have the tradition of sweet fish from the lake. They just make it, they call it, they make it on the fire. It has a very particular strong taste, and it's also a very good combination with the local dish like this.
With the green salad, is it possible?
Green salad with all the liquid cheese, Spanish, French, so it should be okay, absolutely. With the pizza, especially rosé, now it's like a trend to combine with the pizza, but also
this one,
yes,
you mean?
it goes with the pizza very well.
And today, preparing our interview, I just watching some videos from Russian journalists, and there was a very nice, interesting tasting of champagne with chips. Could you imagine this?
Yes. Why not?
Actually, they say exactly the same. So why not? I've never tried. So maybe with your wine, because for me the acidity, it's really nice. Like to have appetizer instead of champagne, to have a glass of this white wine. Next time I will try with chips. Maybe it will be a nice tip. Who knows?
So it's, I think, logical.
And what other types of wine do you produce? We already talked about white. I got here some rosé. So I will show you the label. You will see.
It's with the magnolia and the insect which looks like a bird. And people in Tuscany, they call it calibri, like a hummingbird, but it's not a hummingbird, it's an insect. And the
This
name is
is
Bacarlo
Italian
Sungallo,
calibri.
which is on the label, yes. And for me, it's the first symbol of the spring. And this magnolia, which is flowering without leaves, just the beautiful flowers, big beautiful flowers, first symbol of the spring. So we put it on the label just to communicate that it's a spring wine, very fresh and easy to understand. It's done from Sangiovese.
Okay, it's 100% Sangiovese here?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I know this grape, and I think it's not easy to make it so delicate, like worthy of rosé wine. Was it a difficult job to do this rosé?
This is actually a Provence style. If you go to technology, it's so-called reduction technology. We collect the grape early in the morning, manually, in the casks of 10 kilograms. Then we put in a special room for 24 hours to refresh the grape around like 5-6 degrees. And after that, it goes to press, yes.
Look at the color, very, very Provence style.
Yes.
So you call it like press, you press the grape, so it's saignant, like...
So the color comes after the press. We don't have any contact with the skin after. It's just the play within the different bars of the press. And this way we could arrive to the color we like. And for example, I had even some buyers here from France and some people from Provence, and they decided to use it to buy this wine for the France as well. I should deliver next week this wine to you.
Oh, really?
Yes, not
Do you know
Bordeaux,
where we can find it? Like in the big supermarkets or in
no. We are in the Horeca and Enotex and small wine shops. So our wines you can't find in any supermarkets.
Please give us the tips. Is it in Paris? Is it in Bordeaux? Is it in
Burgundy.
In Burgundy?
Yes,
No
in Burgundy. My
but
favorite
really,
one.
congrats. You really managed to seduce the Burgundian guys for your wine. It's
I
really
hope it's going to be spread after in some other spots all over France, because these buyers, they have a sort of new project of Italian food in different spots. I hope we will be everywhere, but for now, yes, it's Burgundy.
Okay, so let's try your rosé wine.
Yes, describe me.
You already got in your wine glass? What do you think about this wine glass? Is it for rosé like good one? Because for me, it's like for white wine glass.
I use for myself usually closed model, more long, more for champagne. And with this type of form, I have a bigger pleasure. Here I have just one, this glass. Yes, I didn't take with me other forms, but just one. I can't show you what do I mean,
but actually I see that here aromatics are even more delicate than in white wine. For me, it's quite rare. Maybe I'm used to drink only rosé from Bordeaux, which have really pronounced smells. But here it's very, very shy, I would say. But also something like flowers or even herbaceous. Do I am in the right way or not?
I hope so. I hope so. In English, I won't be able to help you with all the description panel. But
now you say, after you telling this, maybe I find here something from citrus fruit. For me, it's a little bit like grapefruit as well.
Yes, grapefruit from the beginning, it's very visible. But then within the transformation, usually grapefruit is really nice at the second month of fermentation. Then it's disappearing a little bit, but still you can feel it.
Yeah. But it's a very young wine. It's 2020, so I think it's still like young in aromatics. But actually, the first nose is already quite seductive. The second one, in the second, it's really open fruits, because in the beginning it was mostly flowers, and now I got this pronounced note of grapefruit, as you said, but also a little bit of apricot or orange peel as well. But you know, in 1 week we open the terrace in France, so it will be a nice moment to go out and to sip this rosé. Well, what would I say?
Again,
Here I feel something like bubbling. You know, if I drink some sparkling wine, there is some bubbles inside, if I am not wrong, and also very nice acidity that I like very much, which is not very harsh, not very direct. It's really like kerosene, smooth, and also bringing some freshness from fruits, as I mentioned in the nose. The same for me, a little bit of apricot, grapefruit, and what is very important, there is no this bitterness that sometimes you may find in some, of course, red wines, but also rosé wines, and it's very pleasant to drink. So the same as a white wine, you don't need directly to pair this with food. You can just have a glass of wine and enjoy your nice view from the balcony.
Yeah, like aperitif.
Yeah, actually very nice. I don't want to crush down. I know. Maybe it looks not very professional, but some wines I got really struggle to waste it. So this wine is exactly.
I have this. I can split here.
This is very authentic one.
Yes. Actually, I have some other stuff with me. This is sule, which is in Italian, in English I don't know. It's one of the plant which we use in between the lines of in the vineyard, yes, and like siderate plants for soil fertilization. We have beans, which is very typical and common. And I can show you maybe now beans, they are producing their seeds.
You already got some harvest, not
Yes.
the grapes.
Yes, usually people eat it here with the pecorino cheese and these beans in the spring. It's typical starter. And another type of plants, also peas, yes, piselli, like. And the other they are finished, like mustard and so on. So this is in between our lines. Within this, we make soil fertilization.
Oh, we got a question. Is being wine gourmet about nose good reference, or is about whole process from made to drink?
I don't understand. Repeat. In short.
Is being wine gourmet about nose good reference, or is about whole process from made to drink? So I think it's a question about is your wine is gourmet just in its own, or you need to mix it with some food. But as I say, in my opinion, this wine you can just enjoy in his own, like appetizer, and also you can mix it with like starters. For me, first of all, it's of course some seafood, even if I don't eat it, but I think something's telling me that it will be a nice pairing. And also I think this wine also you can use even in the end of your dinner or your lunch with fruits, like for example fruit salad. Now it's a season of strawberries in France and in Italy, I suppose, and I think mixing with this rosé, like the real strawberry, it will be very nice food pairing, because strawberry, it has in itself very nice acidity, fruit acidity, and with sweet wine it can be, you know, sweetness, it's really make an accent to acidity, so some acid food would be more acid, and with something balanced like this, it will be a very nice combo. So let's, you may try, and after you will write us down in the comments what advice did you appreciate more or not at all. It will be nice to know. And talking about winemaking, you are a woman, like living for 14 years in the foreign country and making wine. So what is for you the most difficult in winemaking?
If we go to this trend, this female project and so on and so on, it's very spread actually. And for now, what I feel in the United States, for example, I'm a little bit surprised in terms of success. Yes, because for me, no matter who you are, important that you have a passion and you do something with all your heart. But what I want to say in terms of agriculture, of course, it's not easy thing to do. But for example, in our team, we have ladies, and our inner cellar enologist is a lady also as well, Elisa. She was here before. But what I want to say, for me, it's much more harder to participate in commercial part of this world, wine world, because it's really not a female environment, not a pleasant, and starting from physical conditions that you have to be always active and drink until the night in all the parts of the world to be able to sell the wine and to make your ideas clear to the customers. Because we work with the whole world, so it means time difference. You start in the morning with the Asian part, and in the evening, very late, you finish with the United States, for example. And then it's not easy to manage all these business deals between like you and the men part of this wine world. So could be sometimes really cruel. But in terms of wine production, I think no matter who you are, important that you do it with the passion. That's it. Can you find your wine in France? Yes, in Burgundy you can find, but actually we have e-commerce on the website, and you can order to your home. No matter from which European country you are, we can deliver to you directly from the winery. And with Katya, we decided to make for our friends a special code with a discount, which is Katya 15%. If someone will write down on our e-commerce platform, you can get 15% discount. Yeah. And the website is poggiodelmoro.com or .it. If you want to try, you can easily order directly from our winery from Tuscany.
So it was a little bit in advance. We wanted to keep the surprise for you till the end, but no matter. So for 10 first persons who wants to order wine directly from the independent wine producer, really audacious and making wine as she wants, and not like big brothers telling her from the big supermarkets. So we got this promotion code. You can go to the e-commerce and order, but you need to follow Poggio del Moro and to be in touch with her about the new products and the new activities. By the way, do you produce every time the same wines, or you change from time to time, like new wines, or you stop to produce some old one? How do you work?
Actually, we have, as I told you from the beginning, like few lines, like classic line, oaky wines, I can say like this, then flower power line, which is fresh seasonal wine. And in terms of repeating the same parameters, it's impossible. In artisanal way, we are depending from each season, each vintage. And of course, we can't guarantee you that, for example, if you take Rosso Toscano, which is a blend, international blend, it's Merlot, Cabernet, Syrah, Sangiovese for type of grapes, we can't guarantee you that vintage 2014 is the same as 2017. Of course, it will be two different wines, because 14, for example, was full of rain. Yes, it's particular year. 17 was the season without any rains, for example, just very hot summer, very warm winter, and so on. So, of course, within these different climate conditions, we have different wine in each vintage. It's not like a commercial approach when you guarantee the same quality, the same parameters, the same, I don't know, starting from part of the clearness of the wine, yes, like filtration of the wine until aromas. In our case, it's slightly different from vintage to vintage, and we follow the nature, we follow what's going on outside, and we don't make stabilized equal wines from year to year.
And by the way, how would you describe this bottle? Because I think many of people now even don't know what is it inside.
Yes, it's a sparkling wine. As I told,
It's a
like the village champagne, very simple because it's done within the fermentation inside the bottle. It's with the deposit. Last year we made a big deposit, and it was very with a big surprise bottle because you can make a fontan if you don't know how to open it. And now we made with a less deposit, so it's a little bit not natural intervention, but we filtered it a little bit because commercially it's more easy for the final customers and they don't have any surprises. Now it's nice, lovely sparkling wine without any sulfites, without any addings to the wine, from organic grape, and very eco-friendly approach in the winery by itself and the cellar by itself. Actually done by its microflora, so it could be with the wild yeast or it could be with the selected biological yeasts. It depends from what we are doing, and it's a nice expression, very particular taste. It's not like Prosecco style, yes.
Would you like that I open?
Yeah, we can try it. Let's try.
Do you have the same?
I will open it. I have the same bottle here.
So I got this device. Today I don't need to get Coravan.
No, now it's okay.
I use this, but today it's only...
Now it's totally quiet drink. No surprise.
But actually it's much easier to open that like classical
For me
wine.
it's not easy to open. Oh.
But
that's it. Then we have nice sparkling.
But the point, I drink so few of beer, so I don't have a nice device like to open this.
And you see the deposit is down. It doesn't mix too much with the wine itself. So you can drink it easily, mostly transparent drink. You can drink it in two types. You can drink it with the deposit mixed up with the wine, or you can drink it clear. So when you have a big deposit, people open often under the water, then you get it from the deposit. Now it's just
oh, it started to work.
Pretty clear wine.
And what about the grapes that you put there inside?
So mostly Trebbiano, yes, Trebbiano. Then
bubbles.
it depends from the season. We can add Grappa, Malvasia, and a little bit of Riesling, but mostly Trebbiano. Totally different drink, so you can't do it.
I got a very bad device. I don't drink beer, so that's the point.
Try.
I have Coravan, but I don't have a nice open. But if you don't mind.
No, but you already opened it because you see now the air is inside the bottle. Try
yeah,
it.
but
it's very strange that you can't do it. No, come on, up. Or do it on your legs. I made with this.
So that's the point. I miss a man's hand. Because normally when I worked in wine chateau, we got like a man sommelier who could always help me if I got some problems like this, but not today. Oh my God, it started. Calm down.
No, it should be okay. Maybe because you... I need to make a challenge. Open me.
Wow, I got it.
Because all over the
times
world, people are having different difficulties with this bottle to open. So, but you see,
But
it's
now
white.
color is completely changed. I mean, the opacity It
Actually,
started to
I
be
have
really.
demonstrated this video to some of our friends. And that, guys, now it's all fine. You can open easily.
But
So
look at this glass.
I have a little bit different color because of the inner light.
But I like this very, very teeny bubbles inside. So beautiful. Oh, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Someday. Saluti.
Yeah, the taste is strange. So if you never tried this, it could be strange for you for the first time. But it's absolutely natural wine, natural drink, without any human interventions. And it's also a good combination within the different dishes, like starting from seafood until the same pizza. You don't use it usually for the dessert because it's not typical, but we can say it's like a cedar style. Whenever
Yeah.
goes cedar, so it means Pitnat can easily present it
And what
in
is
the
the
food pairing.
winemaking process? It's like champagne, the traditional method.
No,
You need
no. Some
no.
people they say, especially here, like Pitnat, it's a French name, and they are saying that it's with some addition of sugar, like syrups,
Mm-hmm.
concentrated grape juice, for example. But for us, it's in Italy as a metodo classico, yes, or metodo like traditional method of producing some sparkling drink close to metodo classico, close to your champagne. Cedar style, что нужно, yes, absolutely. In this case, you have just one fermentation. Usually when you add something, you have second fermentation in the bottle. Here
Mm-hmm.
is the first fermentation. And it's just a grape juice. You wait until your sugar goes down in the tank. It depends from the company you can play, depends from the winemaker, yes. We play usually something in between maybe 8 grams of sugar. And then you close it in the bottle, but you have to do it immediately. And usually this drink is ready maybe even after 3 months or less, because it goes into the bottle very fast after the harvest. And then it's fermented inside the bottle, and the deposit which you see in the bottle is a natural deposit, yes, which is done by yeast, the same, yes, and some other fractions of some.
But you know, it's very important because sometimes people that a little bit far away from wine production think that if there is deposit, it's something like bad things. The same like for red wine in Bordeaux, in Burgundy. Oh, there is deposit. It seems that wine is not good. Not at all. Deposit is something natural, and you see this color, you see this deposit, and it just seems that it's something produced naturally and it's not filtered, because the
Yeah, in
filtration.
red wines usually it's like the part which is responsible to make wine red, yes, to color it. Then it could be crystals. So usually it's a signal that the wine is artisanal, because it's done with less manipulation, which you have usually in some industries, starting from filtration until of protein cleaning.
But you know, now I have tried like 3 wines of yours, and I may say that the two first is really like, you know, classical wines. I mean, something that you order in the restaurant, something that you can buy in wine shops. But this Pitnat, you feel really like if you were directly to the winery and you assisting like the wine tank, direct wine tasting, because the smells and flavors are completely different. You know, this wine, for example, I find it more gastronomical. For me, it's really better to consume with some food, and I suggest even some difficult food. I mean, some vegetables, sometimes with artichokes, it's not easy to find something to drink together. So for me, like you find something really, it's more in folklore cuisine. Like I assisted on the wine tasting and food tasting traditional Tatar food, and there was like a kind of dish, like how to say it? It's kind of pizza, but with meat and potatoes.
Пончик,
Yeah.
Пончик, напиши your traditional Tatar dish.
Yes,
We
I
have
think it's like
now.
bish
My
mishmak,
French
something like
knows very
this.
well. Напиши свое
And
традициональное татарское блюдо. So I just, she wrote, Пончик тоже хочет вино. Actually, these two bottles you can buy easily in, no, Misha, not buy. You can buy easily перемяч. Yes, a sort of. Then you have others.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
you can
you
buy
take
in
перемяч and this wine.
депо. Yes, лесная депо, бутик называется Пьемаджо, и там только с фонтаном есть два этих напитка. В Москве сейчас. Sorry.
A little Russian translation about where you can find this wine.
Yeah, for our Russian customers.
So guys, if you're in Moscow, go directly to Pimaggio. He gets the best Italian wine selection.
Wine boutique depot. It's a big, beautiful space with the food, restaurants, some artistic stuff.
Just to tell you that normally, we got 1 hour. I don't know, maybe during 1 year the rules has changed, but for a moment Instagram keeps us in direct. So I don't know if it will be cut down or not. So by the moment we continue, if you got some question, don't be shy to write us down. And we're going further with wine tasting and wine discussion. So send us some hearts if you really like what we are doing here. And of course, we are waiting for questions. So keep going.
We just decided to meet online and to show that we are alive after this terrible quarantine time. We are okay.
So the name is Ich Pochmak. So who is brave to pronounce it? I really would like to see French people to pronounce Ich Pochmak. So let's keep doing this.
So we are alive. The life is opening here in Europe. It seems like 1st July, it's going to be more easier to move around. And I hope we can start to meet each other and make wine tastings, meet friends and guests and enjoy the life as before.
Yeah. And by the way, what is the COVID situation in Italy now? Because even being in Europe, things change so quickly, so I don't, I can't follow all of it. Just tell me some hot news. What is allowed, what is not allowed?
So there are different levels and they change from one level to another. In between each level, something around 2 weeks. And like from 15th of May, we should have some sport activity, pools outside and so on. Then, I don't know, from 1st of June, we can go to visit some museums. Slowly they open. And in between each country, there is an accord, but mostly the program is the same. It seems like in the program, we should be open on 1st of July. In terms of tourism, I don't know. European tourism should be, but international tourism, we don't know. So probably something will be changed, and we can meet also Russian tourists, Chinese tourists, and from other countries. But for now, it's like this. Not really.
But what is the people's mood? How do they feel, Italians?
For them, it was very hard because you know that Italians, they're very social, yes, and they need to hug, to kiss, they need to go each day to the bar to talk, to discuss the news, and of course for them it's a disaster, especially if you are like a lonely one and on pension, there is nothing to do, and your daily ritual is to go out to the bar to read newspapers and drink espresso. And of course it was hard. Now it seems like okay, people start to move. For example, I have bookings from north of Italy. Tourists are coming, and we have inner tourism as well as in other countries. It's not so positive as it was in Russia, yes, because over there guys are opened for all the time, yes, starting from November, December. Here we have still this lockdown 1, 2, 3, so no, without any no end lockdowns. But for this summer, from 1st July, it seems like we are free. Then nobody knows what's going to be in October, November. But I hope we are done with this story. In terms of vaccination, we are very, very in delay. It's impossible to get here in Italy vaccination if you are not from medicine, if you are not from educational part. So if your work is not collegated, yes, with some human activity, then it's not easy to get vaccine.
Okay, so I see. But would you like to make a vaccination?
If it's the only way to be able to travel, then yes. If it's not the only way, so then I will wait, because our doctor here told that we are young and we don't need, but I made another one against different types of bacteria which influence on pneumonia, and this I have. So it helps a lot when you have COVID in terms of protection of your lungs. With the COVID, I have to wait. Maybe I will do it in Russia because it's much more easy and you can do it everywhere, even in a supermarket. Here, no, it's a big privilege.
The same like in France. But in France, they promise that the things going better, especially close to July, to June. So fingers crossed, we will see what will happen.
Yeah. Someone is asking about rosé words. So I can say that until 2018, rosé was done just from Sangiovese, and on the market we have now 14, vintage 2014. So it's Brunello style Sangiovese, which is prepared almost for 5 years, minimum 2 years in the oak. Sangiovese likes volume, so it's tonneau, 500 liters, and with the big aging potential, and you can keep it in the bottle as long as you want. So we promise you 50 years. It's very serious wine. It's the most expensive wine in our line. And if you enjoy Sangiovese, if you wanna feel Tuscany, so it's a perfect bottle, and you have to pair it with the meat, like Florentina steak. Yes, Florentine steak, Florence steak. It's a great deal to make this type of food pairing. But from 2018, it was a new blend. It's more Bordeaux style. It's Cabernet and Merlot, because for us it's like anniversary wine, 10 years of the winery, and we decided to express this wine within the best grapes which we had in this vintage. And from that time, we would like to present in this bottle just the best cru what we have for now, no matter which type of grape. We don't know what's going to be next year in the bottle, but it's going to be for sure something really unique and particular. And it's our main wine, and we believe in it a lot. I think we did a pretty good job, and we have also some perspective for our evaluation, yes, and development.
And what about your red wines? Do we need to wait, like, you know, classical Bordeaux blends, like 5-10 years before opening the bottle? Or it's already ripe enough to open, like, I don't know, what...
this Sangiovese which you have now in your hands, it's a classical Chianti, very simple one. This you can drink easily, immediately. And
2018.
yes,
so already 3 years old, babe.
Yes, this is this fresh line. But then we make Chianti Reserva, which is gonna be Superiore from 18 as well. So I arrived finally to my goal. It's Sangiovese, serious, elegant, but easy to drink. And from 18 it's Superiore. Before 18 it's Reserva. Mostly done from Sangiovese. And then, as I told you, our entry-level wine, which is Rosso Toscana, yes, the blend of Merlot, Cabernet, and Syrah Sangiovese. At the end, for example, 2017, it's going to be very serious wine. It could be, and here in Italy, restaurants, they consider it as a super Tuscan. So this wine, to be honest, it's over the level, and you can keep it as well very long time, and you can enjoy it with the serious meals, dishes, and it's classical story. So if you are still searching for special occasion, some full body wines, so we are for this.
And by the way, talking about the super Tuscan wines, you know, it's cost, of course, not so expensive like Burgundian reds, but for example, do we need to pay a lot to enjoy like really good wine,
No.
natural, artigianale? No.
No, of course
By
not.
the way, what is the price, for example, I don't know, for a white that you got it?
For private people now, I don't remember, but maybe something about 12, 13 euro in the shops.
So 12 euros, guys. Only
Could be
12
in
euros
some shops 15 euro, yes, but
so, but it's not like 120, yeah, I agree.
no, in starting like around 20, you can buy really good wine, artisanal. You just need to know the producer and to know the approach, then it's easier. So if you are really a wine lover, wherever you are, you can find your target. You pay a lot for the brand, but I don't know whether you waste money or not, depends.
Yeah, unfortunately. So guys, if you want really to have something nice to drink and to consume, you don't need to pay like hundreds or thousands of euros.
Yes.
Of course, you can pay it if you want to invest in wine, but this is another question. I think
yes, it's totally different market, and this is just the market, you know, like art market, classical art market, the same story. You invest and you resell, and you just keep in your collection within the possibility that the price for this exactly position will go up. And you are very cool if you bought it before, I don't know, James Suckling or Parker will give for this wine 100 points, for example. If you buy it a little bit in advance, then you are lucky as well, because after you can resell it when you have high points. So, for example, with this Rosso Toscana, last time we sent to James Suckling, he gave us 93 points.
93? Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's also a tricky story because you know how it's done, and it's the marketing. And if you are in this machine, you have to be active in terms of events, participations, different marketing stories. Then you can get something. This way we send first time and we've got this. I'm not sure that we can send the second time, so it could be very difficult to enter.
So no matter now you've done it, so you can really communicate about and to tell people that even James Suckling appreciated this wine. So guys, all
yeah, but,
doors
it's the matter of taste. It's like a fashion. If you trust into producer, you see the quality, you like the style. In terms of your taste, it's okay. So then you found your producer and you can follow the winery you love or the wines you appreciate. It's very subjective story, yes, very individual story. And then the question of the mood, because today you are in one mood and you have this occasion and you have this meal, tomorrow you're in a totally different mood. So you change all the time.
Okay, so hello from Porto. Hello, Porto.
Hi.
Land of the Porto, best wine in the world. So also question, what is the best wine in the world? So I think it depends on the taste.
There is not.
This is another big discussion.
Yes.
Just to share with you my last experience, I worked with one client and he asked me, what is the ideal wine? So Tanya, what would you say, what is the ideal wine for you? And
now,
guys, you can write in comments.
We choose a very particular place. We are the first who tried to express the terroir. So for us, it's very important to bring our soil to your glass, no matter where you are, no matter you are in Singapore, Mexico, Brazil, or Russia, wherever. So if we follow the agricultural management, yes, cultivation of the fields in a proper, more eco-friendly style approach, yes, then you do the same with the less intervention as possible in the winery, in wine cellar. And then you express maximum your terroir, your soil, your region. The person, the final customer can appreciate it in the glass. This is our main goal. So this is our philosophy, and for example, I'm saying all the time, you are drinking Sangiovese from Chinciano. Why not? It's the wonderful Sangiovese. If you like it, especially if it's your style, I mean your taste style, then we are absolutely happy because we succeed to bring you the grape into your glass, transformed into the wine in a more natural way. Why not?
Totally agree. But you know, you got a very French vision, I would say, because recently I traveled in Burgundy and they try to do exactly the same. And when you just started to make your wine, did you got some examples to follow in your mind? I mean, some like...
To be honest, in terms of appellation, so that time I enjoyed a lot Brunello. Now I'm not so deep because professional taste is changing a lot and it's changing actually not daily but monthly. And all the time you need a new experience. And what I'm saying for the future, the trend should be to make very clean wines. Could be also classic approach, yes, in terms of style, but in a very, very natural way. This is the harder thing to do. In a few words, I can say in marketing, you can be as a Romani Conti, you can make this elegance like they have, but you have to achieve it in a natural style, within the natural approach, yes, in terms of field management and cellar management. If you then add a little bit of your own fantasy, which people accept and appreciate, then it's fantastic. But to be honest, I'm against natural wines which did in a dirty style with not healthy microbiome. And this movement is a little bit too much, I think, too much over-evaluated, yes. Classic line, classic wines in general, like Burgundy style, for example, for me, it's the top in terms of Pinot. Depends, again, depends from the producer, but most of them, not most, but okay, some of them, they are doing absolutely elegant stories. And if you achieve this elegance, clean wine, in doing it naturally, it's fantastic. This is the goal of us for the future as well. And I think it's going to be the trend.
And do you know examples who managed to do this?
I think in France you have a lot of guys doing this. I'm not talking about big producers, famous brands. So I'm
of course, and not about Bordeaux, I suppose.
On smaller, but important not to go deep into too far away, because if someone is saying like, oh, I'm doing like my grandfather, it doesn't mean that you have to do it like your grandfather and it's still cool, because until now we had a great progress of wine market technologies, yes, and it's all done in a sophisticated way within the analysis, yes, all this scientific base. You have to accept it as well. Why do we need to lose it? We have to keep it. We have to go through this information and start to create something really sophisticated in terms of technology. Because when you consider your modern technology and taking into consideration this natural approach to the plant, for example, yes, we discussed with you about the immune system of the plant. Yes, if you start to work on making it stronger in a natural way, putting all type of plants in the vineyard, collecting, I don't know, different insects, which influence on each other by their own way. Yes, it's like natural selection, inviting birds, animals, wherever. You can make pretty healthy and big biodiversity. It's easy if you don't have problems with the place in terms of humidity, in terms of climate, then you can achieve wherever you want. If it's, as I told you before, like good ventilation, sun, different expositions, and so on and so on. So you can make healthy environment through this big biodiversity.
Okay, Tanya, I think we have found some subject very interesting to our audience. So first of all, do you know something about Cloudy Bay Sauvignon Blanc White? Have you ever tried it?
Cloudy base? No, I think.
Cloudy Bay. I think it's, if I'm not wrong, it's in United States. Just to confirm me or say something. And we got some
Misha is writing too many questions, more professional, about enologist, about orange wine. So yes, if you want, I have the bottle. This is Trebbiano, another one, special project with the Russian sommelier. The name is like Senza di me, without me, because in COVID time he couldn't arrive here, and we made it on distance. And
New Zealand.
This is orange Trebbiano. So it goes all to St. Petersburg, and you can buy it there. And maybe now we are discussing to leave a small part in Italy as well. And it's an experiment, very particular. It's done from different type of vinification, starting from carbonic vinification until maceration sulla bucce, on the skin, yes. And from the beginning, we tried also to add reduction there.
But show again the cork.
It's too complicated and too much.
It's so interesting.
No, it's...
You got some kind of resin, yes?
Yes, like ceralac, wax. Wax, yes, sorry. And it's just for beauty. It doesn't anything. So it's more style question. And about enologist question, yes, we now try to work with Nicola Biasi. He is one of the talents, young talents of Italy. And he has his own production of very particular white wine in Alto Adige. One bottle is about like 100 euro. And then he made, for example, a big project for Japan in terms of orange wine creation, but orange wine for mass, yes, like for a big quantity of consumers. He's doing very nice classic red wines and so on. So hopefully we can improve our style and we can create something really particular. So we are pretty ambitious. We are young and full of passion. We love wine. And I hope it's going to be a very successful collaboration.
So just sorry, my battery is very, very teeny.
So let's finish.
No, it's okay. But I've changed positions. I think it doesn't matter for you. So very interesting, and I have seen that local journals have written an article about you. So it promises a big success, I suppose.
I hope so, yes. I hope, but anyway, it's a good direction in terms of elegance.
Yeah. But about the elegance, so when you started, you were more like traditional Italian winemaking, or you wanted to make something like in French style? I don't know.
I think more like traditional Tuscan style. When you taste it, you tell, wow, it's expensive. But it doesn't mean that it's elegant.
Okay. So very difficult to find this balance, I know.
Yes, and then very hard to work with Sangiovese. To make it easy to understand, easy to drink is not easy question. So really we worked hard and a lot of years to arrive to this easy drinking wine Chianti, which you have like new. It was a big research, and we made the different experiments and the different vintages one by one. At the end, lead us to what we have now. It's not easy, and until now, for me, Sangiovese with the maximum elegance expression is in Chianti Superiore of 2018. It's not on the market. It should be in some years, but for me, it's like a top. So for me personally, I arrived finally to the taste I like. But still, you have place to improve and to change.
Okay, and what kind of barrels do you use or don't use it at all?
No, we use for classic line we use French oaks. We have a little bit Italian oak, but mostly French and different producers. So we have barrels, we have tonneau, different
But
sizes.
only new oak or like several years old?
Of course, we use it for several years, and with the some wines we go until 5, 6 years. But in more expensive wines, usually you play within the barrel until 3 years old.
Okay. So, very, very interesting. So, guys, do you have any other questions to ask us? Because now you got a very excellent opportunity to ask maybe something concrete about Italian life, Italian winemakers' life. So, we're just waiting for your questions, and if you don't have it, because we're already talking like 1 hour and a half, could you imagine?
Yeah. I hope our English was nice. If you
Me
have
too.
anyway, you can write us in direct message in Instagram. Yes, if you would like to go and see the details of our winery, you go to website Poggio del Moro .com.it and so we are open for any discussion. We are open for the guests, and hopefully life will return back to normal standards. And we are waiting international tourists in our winery.
So, by the way, are you open to welcome like normal people, not wine professionals at your winery?
Of course.
But it sounds like, of course, but you know, even in Bordeaux, it's not sometimes so easy to get in the shuttle.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh,
The person
thank
from
you.
United States confirmed that our English was okay.
So this is a famous Russian accent. So, but we speak as we can.
Yes, we try to do our best in all the sense. Because last time when we tried to talk, we've got so many messages. Why do you talk in Russian? Why don't you talk in English? So this time we decided to practice our English.
But could you imagine? It's already 1 year spent after our first meeting online.
Yes.
So like the whole life.
The whole life. It seems like the time is flying, but to be honest, this time was very hard and was very particular.
It was so funny because now we talked about like artists from tradition from classical ballet, that now the theaters open, and what is the shape of this artist, because maybe they get a little bit fat. So the same for our English, you know. When you don't use it like it's the same frequency like it was before, it started to be a little bit like, you know, slow. But I think with the opening of the tourist season, the things will go better.
Okay. So we have an exhibition as well in the winery now, done with my
Really?
Pernod from Champagne area. I wrote also something about it on Instagram and then on the website. And hopefully some tourists can come and see this pretty soon.
So, and why about Epernay? Because you moved there, or what is your connection?
No, you know that we went there to study how to do champagne because we produce here as well Metodo Classico from Sangiovese. It just
Really?
yes, a very small production, about 1,000 bottles.
It's a big houses, so it's a very family production.
Very small and just for private customers from our guests here and for some special events. Very rustic and particular Metodo Classico. So we went there to study. At that time we've been in different wineries, and it was organized by my friend. And she was living there, and she created the project like a sculpture, but which lady can put on her body. And that time we created this idea one day to participate within this exhibition in the space, in our space, yes. And we used even soil from Poggio del Moro vineyards. to create these masterpieces. So maybe next time I will do some chat with my friend. And
so we are really fancy to get pictures, at least pictures from
pictures.
this.
Yes, she asked me to do pictures, but to be honest, so I didn't find time for this. But next time I will do, and I will publish it as well in Instagram.
So guys, you know, you need to follow Poggio del Moro. You will get a lot of material about wine production, but also about the art. Because even me, I did not know that it's possible to make sculptures that you can really wear. So really very unbelievable project, and it's really interesting to see. Maybe you can really decorate some bottles with it, or I don't know.
Yeah, we have some sculpture also for the bottles. The name of the project is Laura Deluxe Art. She has Instagram as well, and there you can see.
So could you write it, please, or we will write it after?
Yeah, I can make a mistake now because there is some slash, and but I will find it online and then I'll put it. Okay, so I found it. Oops.
And she lives in Epernay for all time.
She's traveling, yes, between Moscow and Epernay. But yes, she was there for a long time, and she's the first actually one who made the gastronomic tours in Epernay.
Oh, really? Because now it's a real industry, I suppose.
Yes, but she started the first one there.
Okay, she also knows about wine.
Of course, yes. She's very deep into this topic over there, and she can make a gastronomic tours and particular individual programs. And she's very creative and interesting person.
And by the way, talking about the wine tourism, because in Epernay, you know, it's a little village close to Reims, and everything is very close, I mean, in the neighborhood. But when you travel in Italy, for example, in Tuscany, because the region is huge, I suppose you agree, is it easy to get to a winery, or how many times we need to come from Rome or from Florence? What is the best logistics, I would say?
Yeah, Florence is closer, but not a big difference. So from Rome, usually it takes about 2 hours, so 2.5.
By train or by car?
By car, by A1.
By car.
But by train, plus or minus, depends from the train. From Rome, we have a speedy train. It's about 140, 150. So 2 hours, 2.5, it's maximum. You arrive until Chiusi, Chinciano Terme station, train station, and then from there you need or a bus or go by taxi. Of course, in Tuscany, in our area, it's important to have a car, because without it you are pretty limited. You can't see all the small medieval borgo, and you need to rent a car, or you could come also from Europe, from European countries by car and travel around. So it's like an open air museum. You have so many beautiful small villages and historical architecture. I don't know, from 11th, 12th century. To see all these, you have bus connection, yes, but you have to be very smart to understand how it works and to find proper time. And
so it's better to get a car.
Yeah, to make it more convenient, you need a car here.
Okay, great. But you mentioned in the beginning that it's not far away, the Chinciano Terme region. Could you just tell us what it is? Because I've been in Tuscany, I already seen, but could you explain what is the Chinciano Terme region?
It's famous for thermal water. We have different types of it, and for different occasions, needs. Usually it's like one association. People call Chinciano is to your liver. Yes. To treat your liver.
Yeah, liver.
Yes.
Especially when you drink, you get some problems afterwards.
Depends what do you drink and how much.
Yes, exactly. Not the spirits.
Yes, and if you wanna like to restart to make a healthy treatment, you can come here, because we have a lot of famous spots and hotels with all the infrastructure, and it's more like healthy village, yes, city, village, town, it's town. And very beautiful place, because from one side you have the wheat production, which I told you about, Dolce, Valdichiana, so very beautiful areas, very beautiful in terms of picture. And the other part from Montepulciano, Brunello, you have grape production and olive oil production area. And then we are not so far from the sea, it's about 2 hours as well. In Tuscany we have an area so-called Maremma, and you can go there to enjoy the sea. Within these volcans we have, and different mountains, we have the possibility also to go to ski, and not so far we have Alps.
Wow.
Actually, I didn't publish it, but this week we've been in Alte Versilie, which is the Forte de Marne, but upper part, from the other side of the mountains. And the peak of each mountain is full of daffodil flowers, wild fields of daffodils. It's absolutely amazing. There is so-called Grafaniano, which is not famous in between the tourists, but for me it's one of the best, one of the most beautiful areas of Tuscany.
And we trust you as a real insider. So after your telling, I really want to to leave Bordeaux and to get a vacation time in Tuscany. So it's a little bit dangerous. When you start to travel in Tuscany, you can't stop.
Yeah, and it's different Tuscany. So you can make, it's very mountain area. You can make a rafting here, trekking.
Really?
Yes.
But you got everything. You got activities for
from
like
snow to the seashore in
wow.
the same day.
You are Switzerland, you know.
Oh
because no, yeah. And I think I have heard that even Federico Fellini was completely in love with, actually, with this place, not far away
Yes, and
from
Vinciano Terme became famous because of Federico Fellini, his passion, and the group of artists, famous people, celebrities, which at that time were around him. In 18th, 19th, it was absolutely a wonderful place because it's full of rich people, full of, I don't know, last brands of the cars. And to pass small part of the road, you should stay in the line. You had to, yes, about 1 hour.
So it was actually before COVID time. So
no,
it's very.
It's like Federico Fellini times and a little bit after. And the government also paid for Italian workers to stay for 1 or 2 weeks on the thermal water treatment. So that time it was absolutely fantastic place, very popular in between the local celebrities, and the life was amazing here, and the gold was falling down on you from the sky. Now it's not like this. The situation was changed dramatically, but we still have the still medieval beautiful villages, beautiful sightseeing spots, nature, food production, artisanal food production. So during the first quarantine, yes, lockdown, I was staying in the middle of the fields, in the middle of the vineyards, and I went to buy the food from local producers. So I even did not visit even one shop, supermarket, or something like this. So I was buying meat from my neighbor, cheese from another neighbor, sausage from the third neighbor. So I collected from the local small producers around.
But it's very ecological and sustainable at the same time. Yeah, it's a very interesting place, and I think when people travel to Italy, it's exactly that they're looking for. It's food and good wine, because
yes, you can enjoy different sports places where to stay when we come back to normal life, and of course you are welcome to come and visit our winery and to make a wine tasting here.
So guys, I think now you are just booking your tickets. I see what you're doing now. But before doing this, just one more time, we got a special offer for you today. So if you're going to the website of Poggio del Moro, to the e-commerce, you can order 6 bottles and get a promotion with the code that I mentioned, Katya 15%. So you put it, and if you're among 10 first people, you get this discount. And Tanya, you can deliver all around Europe, so it's like a good place. And we are gonna search for for our tickets to Tuscany, because it's nice to drink wine, but it's better to see how you produce it and to enjoy this real Tuscan area. So
And I hope
really,
I will visit Bordeaux soon.
yes, you're always welcome. Unfortunately, time now it's really like October time. I don't know what's happening in the Mother Nature schedule, but we got rains like every day, and it's really like very, very windy and cold, like 15 degrees only. I suppose that last year when we made exactly the same online discussion, it was already like in bikini mood and mode, and now it's really I'm wearing some jackets. So it's a little bit windy, but if you like to make some sport activities, for example, cycle, you're always welcome.
And easier to do in this type of weather. Okay,
Yeah.
so thanks a lot for your call. Yes, thanks a lot that you give me the possibility to escape a little bit from my shelf. Yes. I hope it was interesting for some people, and I hope that
But actually, I'm really surprised, and in a good way, that we got so many audience really following us, like the whole discussion, because normally you got like in the beginning a lot of people, and after you got like 1 or 2 persons. So no matter, we just like to talk about wine. But now it was really like a lot of people watched us, and I hope you got the same pleasure that we got with Tanya to talk about wine and to explain you a little bit like what you can find in Tuscany, what is traditional artigianale winemaking. And write us in the comments to me or to Tanya your, I don't know, in French we say ressenti, so something that you really felt watching us. If was it interesting? And I take this opportunity to tell you that this project I start today, like our Wine Thursday, and I'm gonna meet here winemakers, some of them independent, some of them not, but no matter, they produce a great wine. And if you're interested, so stay tuned, and every Thursday we will talk about different wines from very different regions. Of course, it will be a lot of friends, but who knows, maybe we will meet some foreign guests. So we are welcome to all good winemakers.
thanks a lot, and then bye bye. Have a nice evening, and
Yeah,
good night.
you too. And keep doing nice wine, and to bring us some piece of this magnificent Tuscan area by your bottles. So that's unfortunately now it's a little bit difficult to travel, especially for our guests from America. I have seen from Argentina, but just be a little bit patient, and you can buy a bottle and enjoy this sunshine from Tuscany. I think it's a good opportunity.
Okay,
So, bye bye Tania, buona
bye.
serata, and a dopo.
A dopo. Alla prossima. Ci sentiamo. Ciao.
Ciao.
So you
So,
stop it
how
and
can...
then keep it
So
if you.
that's a problem, how to stop it.
In my computer, I don't know how to stop it.
Termine